The Thing is a horror movie from 1982 by John Carpenter, which is a remake of an older movie, a black and white movie called The Thing from Another World. But I adore the John Carpenter version. It's one of those classic horror movies that you have to watch if you like the genre at all. It stars Kurt Russell, and that's the subject of the figure we're going to look at today, which is the Thing ULTIMATE Macready Station Survival figure by NECA. There's two versions of this figure. The one today is the Station Survival one, which is the one that comes with the flamethrower, which is the one I got. So let's open it up, let's check it out, let's see if it's as cool as the movie, and it really looks like Kurt Russell. Alright, so here it is, The Thing, ULTIMATE Macready, Station Survival. One of my favorite movies of all time, one of the best horror movies of all time. And I know they're going to make more from the movie. Like the next thing is one of the wolves. There's some wolves in the movie, if you haven't seen the movie. That are the Thing. Needless to say, the Thing is an alien that takes the form of other things. I'm not going to explain the whole movie in this video. But anyways, look up the wolves figures. They look great. So this is Macready, the main character, played by Kurt Russell. So we got the nice, artwork on the front. Kurt Russell, one of the doggies, one of the wolves. And you got the normal windowed package from NECA. So there's one of the action shots right there. Looks pretty good. The sculpting, this is the one with the flamethrower. Like I said, there's another version of this. He doesn't have the flamethrower. Some of the accessories are different. He might be a little different on the body. Maybe the head's a little different. But I don't have the other figures, so I can't compare the two at this point. But there's the window there, so you can see all the accessories going on down. Obviously, we're going to get it out of the box in just a second, so we'll not dwell too much on that. So first side of the box, there's this, a shot with the hooded head on there. Other side, you got his, his manly head with his nice, 70s locks on his hair. In his flamethrower, of course, trusty flamethrower. Top, The Thing. Bottom, you got the credits. You got these cool people that, do all this cool work. In the back, you got your normal sort of production shots, promo shots. Everything that's there, a little blurb about it. I know I said his hair was from the 70s, but this is from the 80s. 1982. All right, so that's the box. Let's open her up. One surprising thing to note on here is it doesn't have the normal NECA clear plastic ones that you have to cut. It's got black twist ties. What's up with that, NECA? So like always, we're going to take a look at the figure first. And obviously this is a figure based on a real life, actor, Kurt Russell. He's pretty famous, So the likeness is going to be the first thing, obviously, we need to check out. And I am pretty impressed with the likeness. So I'll put some pictures here on the screen, but the likeness is definitely pretty good. Like it's not maybe exactly Kurt Russell, but it's 90% there. And if you've seen the movie and know who this is supposed to be, you 100% see it in the figure, in the face. And even on the second head too, the hooded head, where it doesn't have these, luscious locks. You can still see the resemblance for sure when you look at it. I don't know if my camera's going to focus like that. You can definitely still see the resemblance for sure. The facial features and everything, I'm definitely very impressed with the likeness for sure. And it starts with the locks up here. The locks and the facial hair here. I definitely like the wash in the hair. It's got a dark wash to give it dark tones, the brown, you know, on the top. He had his part in the hair like he did in the movies, you know, with the flowing locks. But even the details in the face, like the eye paint job, the eyebrows up there, going down to the mouth, and even his lips. I don't know if you can tell, he's got a little bit sort of a rosy glow to his cheeks. It's not just a solid color. And his lips are even, you know, nice and flushed a little bit too, because obviously the movie takes place in the Antarctic, right? The red, the blushing sort of look on their face because it's so cold. They're getting frostbite on their cheeks. So the head, number one feature of, you know, any movie figure depicting a real actor or actress, it looks phenomenal. The likeness and the paint job, all the details on it. I love it, love it, love it. And the attention to detail goes down to the jacket too. It's got this nice, you know, leatherish wash. I obviously don't think it's a leather jacket. They're in the Antarctic. That wouldn't make sense. But it's got that color to it, right? That color scheme to it. So it's got a nice wash on it. These big old, you know, sculpted pockets with the, you know, silver buttons on them. The zipper is painted too, so it's a different color. He's got the, you know, the blue underneath with that shirt underneath, and it looks great in contrast to the rest of it for sure. It really stands out. It's very nice. Around to the back, it's got that wash. It's got the sculpting details, the seam lines on everything, which look great. Obviously, this is a movie figure, so, you know, articulation is not going to be like a superhero figure. So there's only single elbows, but just looking from the back, the single elbows, you can almost not even see them. They almost blend right in because they did such a good job on the sculpt. So one thing about this, is I could tell this is hard plastic. The collar of his jacket. So there's probably not going to be a lot of head movement because he's got the hair there and, you know, the collar right there. But again, this is a movie figure, so most people are going to put this on the shelves. They're not going to superpose it like a superhero figure. You know, he's not going to be jumping through with Wolverine or anything, you know? Maybe someday. Well, I guess not, because he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. That was his MCU role. He's dead now, okay? Spoiler alert, he's dead again. So the details on the jacket and the face and everything look great. So it goes down this wash right here. It gets a little lighter on this area right here, and it goes down to the gloves. So he's got these winter gloves on, and the sculpt on these is really good. It's that, you know, puffy winter material, so you can actually feel it. The only thing I had to look for at first is because all the other hands he came with were flesh colored, right? So obviously you pop this out, you put one in. But what about this? This is part of the glove, right? But it feels like soft plastic. So let's check it out right now. So I think, I'm gonna assume you can remove this. Yeah, so you can remove that. That's an amazing touch right there. You can remove that and put, you know, the flesh colored hands in there. Flesh colored, that sounds so bad. Anyway, you can put his, you know, ungloved hand in there, and it looks, you know, completely right with the jacket. So that's an awesome design decision. That's an awesome touch right there between the gloves and the jacket, rather than, I mean, I guess they could have made this one piece, but then you wouldn't have articulation in the hand. So they did it like this so they can keep that articulation in there. It looks phenomenal if you ask me. Put that back on there. So going down just to the looks, we're not talking about articulation yet, right? So he's got the, you know, the brown leather belt here with the colored buckle. He's got a gun holster over here with the actual, I'm assuming, a removable strap. Yep, to put his pistol in there, which is awesome. That's one of the things I really like about G.I. Joe Classified is all the figures typically have a place to keep everything on them. And I love that with figures, so I don't have to keep anything in the box or in a bag or anything. So, you know, that'll go in there, the little holster will plug in. I'm trying to do it through my camera, so I might not be able to do this, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to break it. All right, it's in there. All right, gun in the holster. And it popped out. Okay, let's leave it out for now. I'll mess with it later. I can't do it through my camera. Anyway, so, you know, nice brown belt right there, just like the movie. Again, I'm going to put pictures here of the movie. This looks, I mean, super close to his movie costume, or his movie outfit when he had this part of the costume. The other figure I did look up was pretty much the post, or the pre-Thing figure. This is sort of his post-Thing figure. When, you know, Thing came around and they found him, That's why he's got the flamethrower, and he's got some... We'll go over the accessories when we go over there. I'm going to explain some of them if you don't know. But anyways, let's keep going about the sculpt, right? So the pants are sculpted on here too. And I really like the sculpt here because it doesn't just match his body. It's a little puffy in places, right? Just like it would be if you were wearing warm clothes in the Antarctic, right? So this is super accurate to the way it is. It's not just, you know, him with clothes pasted on. He's wearing like, he feels like, he looks like he's definitely wearing, you know, super warm winter gear. So, you know, that's impressive to me, okay? It might not be to you. It's impressive to me. So, you know, he's got the warm pants here again. You know, it's got the paint job on the zippers. The pants are a little plain. There's not a lot of wash here or any contrast at all, I guess you could say, with the paint job. But it looks good with the natural just shadows of, you know, my lighting in here and stuff. And, you know, it does have the painted on zippers and stuff. The belt is removable. It looks like a complete separate piece too. And it goes down to the boots, right? So the boots are good. They got that brown wash on them again, sort of matches the jacket. So he's got his warm, you know, warm military boots right there. So the sculpt on the figure is definitely great. Sculpt, paint job and everything. I think the pants are a little plain, but I can't complain. His accessories are amazing, which we'll see in a second. So articulation wise, obviously this is not a superhero, right? This is Kurt Russell. So he moves like a real person. So, you know, there's no butterfly joints or anything here. So that's basically as far as it can go up. It can go around like that. It is a little tight, right? So you can do this sort of the NECA trick if you want. Use a heat gun or soak it in warm water for a little bit, leave it in warm water. So just single elbows here, like I said before. So his range of motion is not that great. But again, this is not a superhero. This is a normal person. And I don't know, that's good enough for me, I guess. Hand goes back, forward, no up and down. Other hand is an open hand too, so I'm sure it goes forward and back. Articulation in the jacket, this is a complete straight piece, so there's no articulation here at all. So you just have the swivel on the waist right there, right above sort of where the belt lays. But again, you're going for movie accuracy here. I don't think it's a big deal that there's not a big hinge right here. Obviously superhero figures and stuff like that, you'd want that piece there to get poses. But this is not that. So going down to the legs, goes about up there, out like that. Turning, there's only a single knee, not a double knee. So the range backwards is obviously not that much. That's pretty much as far as it can go back. You do have another swivel at the top of the boot right here. So a lot of figures nowadays have a swivel right there, but obviously this figure, they foregoed that to make it look better. And so that down at the boot, you can go back and you can go forward. It doesn't go forward very much, but it definitely has a lot of room backwards. Not really very much side to side, none at all really. And then going up to the head, like we talked about, it's a little limited. So you can't look up very much. That's as high as it can look up. You can look down a halfway decent amount. That's about side to side as far as it goes. Let's do the exorcism test. Oh, he can sort of do it. His head's almost popping off though. But so, you know, it's articulated like a movie figure. Like, you're gonna want this on your shelf. He's not gonna be jumping around with snake eyes or anything, okay? All right, the other head we already talked about. Again, it's a super good likeness, and it's got that blue that matches his undershirt on there. And it looks really good. It's got a wash on it too, so it looks really realistic. And here it is on the body. I think they did a great job with this. They gave it sort of a V down at the bottom, which almost covers up the V on his shirt collar. So when you actually look at it, it almost looks like one continuous piece. I think they did a great job there. You'll definitely see it's not, because the shadow of you know what I'm doing right now. But that's why it's got that V right there. If you push it down a little bit, it almost takes away, you know, the seam there, and it looks almost seamless. So I think that looks fantastic. I think that looks great with him on. I don't know how I'm gonna display him, but that looks awesome. So here we have the pistol. The pistol he had in his holder. And in typical NECA fashion, it looks phenomenal. The details on it. It's even got a textured grip. I hope you can see in the camera. But it's got a textured grip, and even these little paint dots for, you know, the screws in the handle. I mean, touches like that, you can't put that into words. It looks very good. It's very nice. And he comes with an ice pick, of course. They're in the Antarctic. You never know when you're going to need a giant ice pick like this. You need to be climbing up a wall or something. So again, the detail on just this one little accessory is pretty amazing. It's got a dark wash up top. So it's the gray with some black in there too. It's got a lighter part of the handle right here, almost grayish, light gray, like white. And then it's got the brown here, which is two-toned again. It's got a little bit of a wash in it too. And then it comes up to a little point on the end, point, to stab things in the eye. And again, there's a wash on the end, and it looks really, really good. The ice pick of the century right there. As AC/DC would say, TNT. I'll put a shot here of the scene where he's holding it in his hand with the flamethrower. He's got it in a dangerous position, let me tell you. But again, it's a big bundle of TNT. You know, it's got details on the end down there. It's got the, you know, the TNT sticks with the black strap painted on it. This stuff you might not understand if you haven't seen the movie, but I don't care. It's a 40-year-old movie. So I don't care about spoiling anything for you. But it's basically the blood sample and, you know, the soldering wire or whatever that they lit on fire to test the blood sample. And this looks fantastic. I'll try to get it in his hand and get a shot of it later. But the blood sort of comes up from this little petri dish sort of thing in it when they try to test people to see if they're the thing. And it looks great. It looks awesome. It comes with 5 different hands and they're all flesh colored. So the only glove hands he has are the ones he comes with, right? So it looks like this trigger hand, a pretty closed hand. This is probably for the ice pick and stuff like that. This hand, I'm guessing, is probably for the TNT. And then he's got another sort of like claw grip hand for his other side. And I think this is to hold the petri dish, to recreate that scene with the petri dish when they tested the blood, the last accessory we saw. So he's got a lot of options here for sure. And then the piece of the set right here is the flamethrower. So look at the details on this. I had no idea. Look at this. It's got, you know, real soft, sort of good straps, rubber straps. There's the tanks on the back with the weathering on it, sort of the rust building up a little bit. And it's, as far as I can tell, obviously, why wouldn't it be, but it's super movie accurate. And then if you look on the front too, so it's got these straps here and they have, you know, differing sort of paint job. It gets darker as it goes to the handle here. And then it's got, you know, gold accents on the handle, gold buckles there and everything. I'd be worried that this is pretty fragile, but obviously I'm not going to be, you know, like I said, he's not going to be jumping with snake eyes. These aren't going to get a workout or anything. But even look at the rivets on the part that goes on his back. It's dark brown and it's got a wash on it right here. It's got these different color rivets right there with that nice, you know, gray color, silver color. And then even the gold, I don't know what you want to call those, like straps, I guess, like bungees or something like that. Like, look at the detail on that, all for a backpack. Like, once this gets on the figure, you're not going to see any of this. But the details on the inside are just crazy. They're blowing my mind a little bit. And obviously it's got this flexible wire, which goes to, the flamethrower piece. The flamethrower piece that'll, go in his hand. And it's got some flame here. So the flame obviously goes, right in there. Just like the movie, again, there'll be shots here. The flamethrower. It looks amazing. This thing is amazing. This is the best piece in the box for sure, other than the figure itself. The detail on this thing is awesome. And here he is with the flamethrower on his back, completely sort of assembled. The flamethrower is a little tricky to put on the back. You have to turn the arms backwards to get it on, as far as I could tell. Maybe there's a better way, I don't know. And I'd be worried about the straps. The straps do feel a little weak to me. I'd be worried about pulling them off. But again, he's gonna, relax on the shelf just like it is. And the straps on him right now, the flamethrower backpack on him right now, it looks so good. The way the straps come down and you see, the accents on his shoulders like that. Oh man, this looks so good. The flame from the flamethrower even. And the flame from the flamethrower as it goes up, as it blows out, right? Like, it looks so good. Him with the flamethrower, like, that's why you're buying this pack, obviously. The first figure definitely looks good. This one they had to put out because the flamethrower, and it looks so good with the flamethrower. Like, I can't even get over this. This looks exactly like the movie. This strap does keep coming out on his holster. I keep putting it back in, but it does pop out by itself. See that? So I don't know if I should, I don't know what I should do about that. I don't want to glue it down or anything so he can take his gun out, you know, occasionally, but it does keep popping out. So I don't know. We'll see if I can figure that out. But anyways, so, you know, overall thoughts on the figure. This figure's amazing. If you're a fan of the movie, like, look at this likeness. Look at the flamethrower. We only need the wolves to go with him. Like, we need some wolves and some, you know, thing for him to shoot with his flamethrower. But, you know, overall, this is another home run by NECA as far as I'm concerned for movie figures, for likeness and everything. I love the movie and I love the figure too. And definitely this flamethrower, the straps, the backpack, all the details on it, it's definitely the showpiece in this figure for sure. So if you're a fan of the movie and you don't have one of these, I highly suggest getting this for sure. So that's my thoughts on the Ultimate Macready NECA Station Survival figure with the flamethrower. Like, it's almost the perfect figure to me, I think, for what it is. And I highly suggest getting it if you're a fan of the movie. All right, guys, gals, non-binary pals, thanks for tuning in. And I don't know, let me know in the comments below what you think of the figure.